Namaskar. Welcome to Easy Science for All. In this lecture, we are going to discuss following terms: fusion, vaporization, condensation, solidification, latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization, and sublimation. But before that, we need to understand the difference between heat and temperature. Heat is not a substance, that is, it is not a matter. It is a form of energy that can be transferred from one body to another. On the other hand, temperature is a measure of the heat or the measure of hotness. It is a measurement of heat or the hotness. I performed an activity few days back in which I took an ice cube in a beaker and with the help of a laboratory thermometer measured the temperature of the ice cube. The thermometer showed me a reading of minus 10 degree Celsius. Here it would be pertinent to mention that a standard laboratory thermometer can be used to measure temperature in the range of minus 10 degree Celsius to 110 degree Celsius. After noting down the initial temperature of the ice cube, I started heating the beaker on a low flame like this. I have started heating the beaker. Due to this, the thermometer reading started rising up, that is from 9 to minus 10 to minus 9, then minus 8, then minus 7, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3 degree, then minus 2, minus 1 degree, and then to 0 degree. Once the reading in the thermometer reached 0 degree Celsius, I noted that the ice in the beaker started melting. It started melting like this. At this temperature, ice started melting. I noted down this temperature. I kept on heating the beaker on a low flame till all the ice got converted into water. Once all the ice was converted into water, I again noted the reading in the thermometer and found that it was still 0 degree Celsius. So again what I observed is that the ice completely changed to water at 0 degree Celsius. Both the events took place at 0 degree Celsius. Ice started melting at 0 degree Celsius and the whole ice got completely changed to water at 0 degree Celsius. I continued heating the water in the beaker while stirring with a glass rod till the water started boiling. As soon as the water started boiling, once again I noted the temperature in the thermometer and found that the temperature was 100 degree Celsius. So I can write here that water started boiling at 100 degree Celsius. The temperature in the thermometer remained at 100 degrees Celsius till all the water present in the beaker got vaporized. That is, all the water got vaporized 100 degree Celsius. So these were the four observations that I made during this activity. On the basis of these four observations, I concluded that when a solid melts, its temperature remains the same. This was the first conclusion. Whereas the second conclusion was that when a liquid changes into vapor state or gaseous state, again its temperature remains the same, as was evident in the case of boiling water. So these were the two conclusions that were made during the activity. In short, we can say that no temperature change occurs during the change of state. Means when solid ice changes into liquid water, there will be no increase in temperature till all the ice has converted to water. Likewise, till all the water converts into water vapor, there will be no rise in temperature. This can be shown with the help of following heat temperature graph. Here you can see that along OA the matter is in solid state, that is in the form of ice, but along AB it is partially in the form of ice and partially in the form of water. At point B it completely gets converted into water, and once it has completely got converted into water, again there is rise in temperature from B to C. Again at C the water starts changing into water vapor, so again here the temperature is constant, that is there is a change of state taking place, and the change of state completes at point D, that is all the water that was present in the beaker has got converted into water vapor at point D. Till then this much amount of heat has been provided to the beaker. Now again, as soon as all the water got completely changed into water vapor, again the temperature starts rising. So we have a definition of melting point. The temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid at the atmospheric pressure is called its melting point. For example, the melting point of ice is 0 degrees Celsius. We saw that as soon as the temperature changed from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius, the ice started converting into liquid. So that 0 degrees Celsius was its melting point. Likewise, if we talk about aluminium, the aluminium starts converting from solid state into liquid state at 2519 degrees Celsius, that is 2519 degrees Celsius. So the melting point of aluminium will be 2519 degree Celsius. That will be the melting point of aluminum. Now, if we look at these two melting points, we can see that the melting point of ice is far lower as compared to melting point of aluminum. So, from these two different melting points, we can conclude that the higher the melting point, the more is the force of attraction between the particles of solid. So, the force of attraction between aluminum atoms or molecules are far greater than the force of attraction between water molecules present in ice. And this process of melting is called fusion. That is, the change of solid state into liquid state is known as fusion. This is how the word fusion has been defined. Fuse means to melt. So we can say that solids on fusion gives or get converted into liquid. Boiling point. The temperature at which a liquid starts boiling at atmospheric pressure is known as boiling point. For example, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, whereas the boiling point of ethanol is 78 degrees Celsius. Here, it has to be kept in mind that both these boiling points are shown by the thermometer when the atmospheric pressure is 180 m, that is 101325 Newton per meter square. When the pressure is this much, then the boiling point of water will be 100 degrees Celsius and that of ethanol will be around 78 degrees Celsius. If the atmospheric pressure decreases, then the boiling point of water as well as of ethanol will also decrease. So there is importance of pressure as well. Now, boiling is a bulk phenomena, means particles from the, by bulk we mean that the particles from the whole of the liquid, they gain energy, and the energy is enough to change into vapor state, means all the particles, they break up or they overcome the force of attraction with the other molecules in the liquid state and gets converted into vapor state. Likewise, there is one more term, vaporization. It is a process of boiling, that is, the change of liquid state into gaseous state is known as vaporization. So when water is getting converted into water vapor, then we call it vaporization. So when solid changes into liquid, it is fusion, but when liquid changes into vapor state or gaseous state, we call it vaporization. Likewise, when a gas or vapor condenses or changes into liquid, we call it condensation. And when this liquid changes into, so solid can be converted into liquid through fusion, liquid can be converted into gas through vaporization, and the reverse is also true. Gases or vapors or on cooling down, that is, on cooling down they convert into liquid and we call it condensation. And liquid on further cooling down they freeze, we call it freezing or solidification. But the main question still remains unanswered, and the question is, when ice melts, its temperature remains the same. So, where does the heat energy go? Let us suppose these are water molecules inside the ice cube, and this is the force of attraction between these molecules. Now, what happens when we heat up the ice cube? Then initially the heat energy that we are providing, it is being absorbed by these molecules. As a result, the temperature of the ice cube increases from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 0 degree Celsius. But it is considered, I repeat, it is considered that as soon as the temperature reaches 0 degree Celsius, the heat energy is no more absorbed by these atoms or molecules. That heat energy is utilized for breaking these forces of attraction. And during this breaking of force of attraction, the ice cube starts melting. This process continues till all these forces of attraction or bond of attraction, they are broken. Once all the bonds have been broken, the temperature again starts rising and reaches 100 degree Celsius. Again the same happens. Now this whole solid has converted into liquid, but the thing is that in liquids also there is a force of attraction between these molecules. Although this force of attraction is less as compared to these force of attraction, but the fact is the force of attraction is still there. Now again, the heat that is provided at 100 degrees Celsius, it is being used in breaking these forces of attraction or these bonds between these molecules, and till all the bonds between or intermolecular forces between these molecules have been overcome, the temperature doesn't rises. And as soon as all the intermolecular forces have been overcome, then again the temperature starts rising. Now here there are two truths. The first truth is that we are continuously adding heat to the matter, and the second truth is that when the state of matter is changing, whether from solid to liquid or liquid to vapor state, this heat is not being detected by the thermometer that we are using. That's why the heat absorbed by the matter, whether it is solid or liquid, during state change is known as latent heat. The word latent means hidden. Latent heat is the heat required to convert a solid into a liquid or a liquid into a vapor without change of temperature. Means whenever a matter is undergoing a change in state after absorbing latent heat, then there will be no rise in temperature of that matter, as we saw in the case of ice. Latent, now it is another very good point, and it is latent heat changes state. It changes state, but not the temperature. Means although the latent heat will be absorbed by the matter, but a thermometer which has been placed in contact with that matter, it will not be able to detect it. It means that there will be no rise in the temperature in the thermometer. It is called latent because it is not associated with change in temperature. Means no temperature change is happening even though this heat has been absorbed by the matter. That's why it is called latent or hidden. During a change in state of matter from solid to liquid or liquid to gas, the latent heat is absorbed by the matter. It is absorbed without causing a change in the temperature of the matter. Now we can proceed further and define latent heat of fusion, or in simple terms we are going to define latent heat required for melting a solid. If we heat a substance and there is an increase in temperature of the substance, then it means that the energy is being transferred from the heat source to the molecules of the substance. But on the other hand, if we heat a substance, it is heat. If we heat a substance and there is no increase in temperature, but only a change in state is taking place, that it means that the heat energy is going into breaking the intermolecular bonds within that substance. So on the basis of this discussion, now we are in a situation to define latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion is the amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kilogram of a solid into a liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point. Similarly, latent heat of vaporization, it is the amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kilogram of liquid into gas at atmospheric pressure at its melting point. At its boiling point is known as latent heat of vaporization. Now what does that means? That means that if in a beaker I take 1 kilogram of water, 1 kilogram of water, and the atmospheric pressure is 1 atm, then the total energy that I would be giving it at 100 degrees Celsius. Let us suppose that it is already at 100 degrees Celsius. These are the three conditions that the amount of water is 1 kilogram, the temperature of the water is 100 degrees Celsius, and the atmospheric pressure is 1 atm. Now, in this condition, if I give it 300 kilojoules of energy, and due to this all the water gets converted into water vapor without rise in temperature, then this 300 kilojoules of energy will be known as latent heat of vaporization. Likewise, if I take 1 kilogram of ice and atmospheric pressure is 1 atm and the temperature of this ice block is 0 degrees Celsius, then the total amount of energy that I will give to it for changing this ice cube completely into water, let us assume I give it 100 kilojoules of energy. Now, when I give 100 kilojoules of energy, this temperature remains 0 degrees Celsius and the atmospheric pressure is 1 atm. Then this 100 kilojoules of energy will be called latent heat of fusion, because this heat will not be visible in the thermometer, or I can say that because of this heat the temperature is not increasing from 0 degree Celsius. So that's why this is known as latent or hidden heat of fusion or melting. That's why particles in water at 0 degree Celsius have more energy as compared to particles in ice at 0 degrees Celsius. This is because particles in water have absorbed extra energy in the form of latent heat of fusion. Likewise, particles in steam at 0 degrees at 100 degrees Celsius have more energy than water boiling at 100 degrees Celsius. This is because particles in steam have absorbed extra energy in the form of latent heat of vaporization. So this is how latent heat of fusion and latent heat of vaporization works. Now let's talk about sublimation. Sublimation is nothing but a change of state directly from solid to gas without changing into liquid state, that is without coming into liquid state, or vice versa. Means if a gaseous substance directly gets converted into solid without coming into liquid state, then that process will also be known as sublimation. For example, if we heat ammonium chloride, then on heating it directly gets converted into vapor form, but as soon as we cool down those vapors, what happens, we again get solid ammonium chloride. So solid to vapor is sublimation, and reverse is also sublimation. Means conversion from vapor directly to solid state is also known as sublimation. Likewise, we use naphthalene balls and keep it in our clothes. So after some time, when we check those clothes, we found that the naphthalene balls have vanished. So this is again an example of sublimation, because the solid naphthalene balls have converted into vapor form and disappeared in the air. So this is how sublimation works. Thank you.